Who knows, we'll get this going. Good evening. Welcome to the Boise School District Board of Trustees meeting for September 8th, 2025. Thank everybody for being here tonight. I'd like to remind everybody that we run our meetings by our values, which include respect, dignity, honesty, responsibility, and teamwork. And thank you all for being here tonight. We're going to start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you all stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag. And we're lucky enough to start off the night tonight with some awards. We're going to start with the Red Apple Award. Trustee Greeley.
Thank you, President Wagers. Since 1974, Boise School District has recognized outstanding professional educators with the Red Apple Award, the highest award presented monthly during the school year to certified staff members by the Boise School Board. The Red Apple Award honors teachers who consistently perform above and beyond the call of duty in fulfilling their responsibilities and supporting the district's mission of educating today for a better tomorrow. We are honored today to recognize an individual who has served students in Boise schools for more than 16 years. Maggie Hickey embodies the very best of the teaching profession, inspiring curiosity, building confidence, and cultivating a love of learning that extends far beyond the classroom walls. Watching Maggie teach is to witness a master at work. She not only knows her content, but loves it, and her enthusiasm is contagious. She constantly seeks creative and engaging ways to break the complex scientific concepts into clear, approachable lessons. She prioritizes time in the lab, knowing that science is best learned by doing. Her students investigate DNA crimes, clock race cars on speed tracks, conduct dissections, and test household cleaners. These hands-on experiences spark curiosity and make science come alive. In addition to her outstanding work in the classroom, Maggie has served as LeBois Junior High's AVID coordinator for the past 5 years, and last year the school was recognized as a site of distinction. Her leadership in AVID has expanded opportunities for countless students, preparing them for success in school and beyond. Maggie is also a remarkable colleague. She covers classes without question when a colleague has to leave school with an emergency. She checks on substitutes in the morning to make sure they understand subplans and that their tech is working, and she mentors new teachers, inspiring the next generation of educators. She is the kind of thinking partner every teacher hopes to have: driven, organized, curious, and deeply collaborative. She is a thoughtful listener, yet unafraid to ask the tough questions that push toward a better solution. Maggie consistently welcomes and even expects challenges, recognizing them as essential opportunities for growth and development. When there's hard work to be done, Maggie is the one you can count on, not only to step up, but to do so with energy, insight, and excellence. Those who work with Maggie know the delight of watching her ideas take shape. It is our distinct honor to present the Red Apple Award for September 8th, 2025 to Maggie Hickey, science teacher at LeBois Junior High, for outstanding service to education and for educating today for a better tomorrow. Here's your award and your opportunity to say.
Right. I left my words over there.
Okay, you can go.
Okay, I'll get it, just in case. All right, is this on? First, I'd like to thank my first teachers, which were my humans that are sitting right there. Both were teachers in the Boise School District for a combined 57 years, so I had some excellent guidance. They taught me to always be the one cheering and always take care of the little things, and so I'm very thankful for them. I'd like to thank my husband, Patrick, and my kids, Claire and Connor, for always encouraging me and supporting me and listening to my excellent dissection stories, even though they get grossed out, and my super nerdy, fun science lessons. They might not always understand it, but they're always willing to listen. I'm very thankful. I'm thankful for the amazing mentor teachers I had when I first started at Timberline, Carol Foss, Annette Hansen, Annie Muniz. I wouldn't be the teacher I was without them today. I'm thankful for the leadership support, Chad Wright and Angela Hagens. Chad, I'm still mad you left, but I know that Timberline's in good hands, and I'm just very thankful for your support and for your leadership along with Angela as well. I'm really excited for the new opportunity with Jamie Cabina as well, and I know that it's going to be an awesome experience. At the district level, I got my start and my support from Dr. Chris Taylor and in Avid from Teresa Iglesias and Patty Bellin, and without those three people just guiding where I'm going today, I wouldn't be here. So I'm thankful for them always being able to listen and share ideas and be supportive of things that I wanted to do in the classroom. LeBois is such a special place, and I'm so thankful that I get to work there. The whole community is amazing. I'm super supported by my science department, Ben Ott, who's now at Hillside, Rob Bowman, Sonia Ozarslan, who recently retired, Lindsay Spickard, Jobecca Thompson, Mickey Kaiser, and we're pretty awesome science department, if I do say so myself. In Avid, I'm not necessarily teaching the elective this year, but I try to sneak all of those Avid things into all of the science things that I teach now. And I deeply believe in what we do there. And the Avid team that we have at LeBois is amazing. And I also think that the Avid team and the science team that we have at East, in terms of their ability to collaborate, David Goodwin collaborating at East, Ali Zimmerly, along with Hannah and Pedro at LeBois. And we make such a strong quadrant team that I'm super excited about the things that we're going to continue to do and grow with. Just like Dr. Taylor says, science is a verb. I think that teaching is a team sport. And I would not be where I am today without all of the amazing people. I'm sure I'm forgetting people, so I'm sorry if I forgot people. But I wouldn't be where I am today without all of the amazing support of the people that I work with and the people that are in the leadership positions to let us try new things and challenge us to be better every day. Thank you.
And next we have the equally important Golden Apple Award. Trustee Langley?
Thanks. Well, since 1994, Boise School District has recognized outstanding classified staff members in the district with the Golden Apple Award. This is the highest award presented monthly during the school year by the Boise School Board to classified staff members. The Golden Apple Award honors support staff members who consistently perform above and beyond the call of duty in fulfilling their job responsibilities and supporting the district's mission of educating today for a better tomorrow. We are honored to recognize an individual who has served the Boise School District for more than 13 years. Tim Steinmetz is a true professional who knows the facilities throughout the district and is one of the first advocates to work on their improvements. The Facilities and Operations Grounds Department is one of the groups that is responsible for keeping Boise schools' doors open and staff and students here in the grounds. They keep the grass green and mowed, the driveways and walkways free of snow in the winter, maintain acres of sports fields, and oversee play equipment around the district. The leader of this department is Tim himself. Tim is a perfect example of a leader who leads by example. He leads through tireless work ethic, reliability, and an unwavering commitment to excellence. He demonstrates outstanding leadership by guiding the grounds crew with professionalism, patience, and consistency. He keeps the shop running smoothly with exceptional organizational skills, ensuring equipment and resources are always maintained and ready. Tim finds efficient solutions to daily challenges, improving processes and boosting team performance. Tim has pride in workmanship, and he ensures that the grounds and facilities reflect the highest level of care and professionalism, bringing pride to the entire organization. Staff members from principals and athletic directors throughout the district praised Tim's work, ethic, and professionalism, calling him an asset to the district and a master at his craft. They say that he is responsive to their needs and that they appreciate his commitment and his sense of humor. It is our distinct honor to present the Golden Apple Award for September 8th, 2025 to Tim Steinmetz, ground foreman, facilities and operations, for outstanding service for education and for educating today for a better tomorrow.
I'd like to thank the administration and the board for everything that they do. I'd like to thank Tom Willis for his leadership and support. And I'd like to thank my grounds crew for all their hard work and everything that they do. So.
Well, congratulations again to Maggie and Tim. You know, we can't have a school district without great staff, great teachers, and great, you know, whether it's F&O or, you know, whatever it takes. Without great folks, we can't do it. And you are great examples of that. So thank you for being here tonight, and thank you for your hard work. We have one more award to give tonight. That's the Distinguished Service Award. We don't give this out very often, so it's a little bit more of a rare occasion, I guess. But we're losing a board member tonight, so sadly enough. So I will start by reading that. It is our pleasure tonight to recognize Trustee Maria Greeley with the Distinguished Service Award as presented by the Board of Trustees of the Boise School District. In recognition of 12 years of exemplary service as a trustee of the Boise School District, including a decade as vice chair, and it probably seemed like a decade just working with me, and then another decade working with Nancy. Maria Greeley has demonstrated steadfast dedication to public education and the students of Boise. A proud mother of 4 Bora High School graduates. We got 2 here tonight. Yeah, raise your hands, kids. Everybody wave. Maria brought to her role a deep personal understanding of the value of passionate educators, diverse course offerings, and high expectations for all students. Her commitment to service began with leadership and community efforts to protect and strengthen public education, including co-chairing the campaign to reject the Luna laws and serving as a member of Friends of Boise for the successful 2012 levy to maintain class sizes. As a trustee, Maria has contributed her leadership and insight to the Governance Committee, Facilities Committee, Strategic Planning Committee, and Superintendent Evaluation Committee. She has made it a priority to visit every school in the district, building relationships with educators and administrators, learning the unique strengths and needs of each school community, and reinforcing the board's commitment to serving all students. Maria has actively engaged in professional learning and advocacy through her participation in state and national school board conferences, bringing back best practices and leadership strategies to benefit the Boise School District. Throughout her tenure, Maria was championed academic rigor, student choice, and equitable access to high-quality education. Her unwavering passion for doing what is best for all students, recognizing them not only as leaders of tomorrow, but also as the leaders of today, has left a lasting impact on our schools, our community, and our future. With deep appreciation, We honor Maria Greeley for her distinguished service, steadfast leadership, and enduring commitment to the Boise School District. Oh, look, Maria, they gave me the mic again. You should go and shake everybody's hand.
Oh, we're just gonna go straight
Oh, no, I'm not saying it.
Okay, well,
We
that's,
have hands flash.
okay. Oh, that's beautiful. Well, I am really deeply touched and humbled by this. Am I good? Is it on? It was. There we go. Thanks, Maggie. I want to kind of recognize the person that's always been my biggest champion, which is my husband, Neil. I remember back when I said someone had suggested that I run for the board, and I talked to Neil about it. And at the time, I was a substitute in the schools, and it meant I was going to give that up and start a volunteer position. And Neil has been such a champion, not only of public education and community, but he's the one that's really inspired me about that. And with his teaching experience and business experience, has always been my solid go-to for good guidance and wisdom. Although he did say when the last time I was considering whether I should run or not, his advice was, you need to be challenged or else you will challenge me. So that's not the reason I ran, though. And I also want to thank my children. It was not easy for them to have a mom in the classroom as a sub. And then it was especially not easy for them to have a mom speaking to groups of parents about the levy and about the Luna laws. And I do recall one time when Owen, before I was going to his junior high to speak to a bunch of parents, Owen's response was, I don't mind if you do it, but just don't introduce yourself with your last name. So I joined the board because I'm so passionate about community and public education. But I stayed on the board because of all of these people. I was a volunteer in my daughter's first grade class, and her teacher was so respectful to first graders and talked so kindly and was so I just fell in love with her as a teacher, and she became my best friend. And so I'm so grateful for what I've gained in this role, and the people that I've worked with. So I feel like I'm the one that's really gained everything from this. I want to acknowledge, part of when I decided to run this last time, it was because Lisa Roberts was stepping on as superintendent. And I was so excited to see what she was going to bring to the district. And being able to work with Dave and Lisa for the last few years has been absolutely amazing. We've gone through some really challenging experiences at times. But both of you lead with such heart and such compassion. And I am so grateful to both of you for the continued leadership that you give to the district and the board. Dave, you have brought in you do such a great job of challenging everybody to come in with diverse opinions and respect everybody's opinions so much. So I'm so grateful to them, but really just everybody, because it is because of all the work you do. We had a workshop, was it just last week, And at one point, I started to get pretty emotional. I turned to Debbie and I said, this is what's so hard to leave. Because our administration and board were talking about the challenges facing public education. And they said, we want to keep our classrooms safe. And we want our teachers and our students to feel hope and joy. And that's what you guys do. And that's why it's been a pleasure to serve what all of you do every day.
The picture. Everybody around the back of it. Rhea, you're right up there. I know how you like to be in the front. Everybody come around. Lisa, come on. Oh, you're in the middle. That's it. Well, on the way up, she says she wanted everybody to know you don't always listen to Dave. And I think maybe that has been, in some ways, this board, none of us get paid to be here except for Lisa. Maybe she gets paid. But I just wouldn't want her job no matter what she gets paid. But it's a great unpaid job. And it's because of people like Maria that care and that put in so much time, and visited every school and did everything everywhere. So it makes it worth it. But with that, I think we have a letter of resignation.
Okay. President Wagers, Superintendent Roberts, and fellow trustees, I will be moving to Singapore for a few years and will be unable to finish my term. Therefore, tonight, I formally submit my resignation. It finally hit. So I formally submit my resignation from the Boise School Board effective immediately. As I stated in my August email to our Boise School District community, I feel such gratitude for the over 13 years that I have served as an advocate for public education. It has been a privilege to collaborate and work alongside passionate trustees, administrators, and educators who are deeply committed to fostering a nurturing, safe, and inclusive learning environment. I leave with the confidence that our superintendency and board will continue to be strong and lead with resiliency and integrity as they navigate the many upcoming challenges. I am so grateful to have been of service to our district, where our focus is doing what is best for students.
Thank you. We will need a motion.
President Wagers,
Trustee Gregory.
I move that the board accept the resignation of trustee Maria Greeley effective immediately.
Is there a second? Second from trustee Hassler. Any discussion? Now's the time if trustees want to discuss this.
That was trustee Donovan.
Oh, I'm sorry, trustee Donovan. I saw her move. The lips were moving. Okay, sorry about that. Trustee Donovan. Any discussion from trustees? Superintendent Roberts.
Well, I'll kick it off. I was doing really well, Maria, to this moment right here. I have only ever sat through board leadership with you as the vice chair. And I just know that whoever the board chooses to replace you, there's going to be some big shoes to fill. That person is going to need to know that they have to challenge us, because that's what you've done. And I don't know that very many people would believe that that's a role that Maria holds in board leadership. But she challenges Dave. She challenges me. She challenges, at the time when Kobe was superintendent, now that other deputy superintendents, but in a really respectful and great way, with really leading with curiosity to understand why. And then if she doesn't agree, she'll tell you. I mean, there have been times when we have agreed to disagree, and generally we all come back together and have found that common ground. But it's pretty powerful to work with somebody who's so professional, respectful, here for all the right reasons, and willing to say, I need you to help me get there. I need you to convince me of that. And then there have been times I haven't been able to convince you, and I've had to walk it back and be like, you know what, you're right, Maria. And so I can't tell you how much I respect that in you. And I will miss working with you every month in board leadership and in board meetings and board workshops. You are such a quality person. We're so lucky to have you. And I really appreciate that I have, as I've learned about this role, I've had you there as a champion. So thank you.
Trustee Gregory.
Ditto. So much that Superintendent Roberts said. And I just thank Maria so much for her friendship through all the roles that we've served in together and the meetings that we've attended together. And she got me to graduations on time because I had to go pick her up. And then she knew the secret route to get there, which was from her home and not mine. So we've had some good times together, and we share a passionate commitment to public education. And I think that that's part of the glue that holds our board together, is that we come from diverse backgrounds, and we bring our observations and our experiences together, and then we focus them all pointing in the same direction, which is making the classroom a place where education can happen for all of the kids in our district. And we have had many conversations about why board work is important and why what a board member does is important. And we have grown together as a board because of her perspective and her introspection about how we can be better and how we can be committed to a really central mission of educating today for a better tomorrow. And so we're thrilled for you. Have a great time. We look forward to seeing you back again in our community.
Trustee Donovan.
I had to write it down.
Difference you've made will be a lasting. I will special extra attention. Goodbye, my friend. I want to thank you, heartfelt thank you for your friendship, for your honesty, for your service and dedication. You're incredible.
Trustee Langley.
I just want to thank you as well and join the voices that say how much you have affected the district and how clearly you live the mission of public education, not just for our kids here, but in the greater good, that you understand what we're fighting for. And beyond that, the first day that I was a trustee, you reached out and with a welcoming voice and the helped be a friendly face in a strange and new world. And that's just the way that you operate. That's your modus operandi in all things. And it's why this room is full of people who love you and support you and are sad to see you go, but also excited to know that Singapore has no idea what's hitting it. So with that, thank you so much for all you've done.
Trustee Hassler.
I don't feel like I'm the only one who can sit quiet up here. That's not really how any of us operate. The first day that I was a trustee, or that I'd just been elected, I had a privilege of sitting down with Maria and having a very candid conversation. That was hard, actually, on both ends, I think. And that's the kind of person that Maria is. She's got courage, and Maria knows what she values and how she will live by those values. And that's something that we need on this board, that we actively work together to have. And I've appreciated the mentorship that you've given to me and how you've helped me this past year to learn how and where to step and when to step back on things. And you've been a very important guide for me. So thank you for that. Excited for your adventures.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, we'll move to a vote. All in favor of accepting the resignation of Maria Greeley, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. So if y'all came for the awards tonight, now would be a great time to go celebrate those awards because they're well earned and well appreciated. All right. Next, we will move on to the consent agenda items. Is there any item a trustee would like to pull from the consent agenda for additional consideration? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion.
President Wagers,
Trustee Gregory,
I move that we approve the consent agenda items on, as listed in enclosures 1 through 15, as outlined on the agenda.
I think it's consent agenda items 1 through 5 and closures.
Oh, enclosures 1 through 15. Pardon me.
Is there a second? Second from Trustee Donovan. Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll move to a vote. All in favor of approving consent agenda items 1 through 5 and closures 1 through 13, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's passed. Motion's passed. I was off. Next, we'll move on to reports and recommendations. I believe CFO Kessel, we have a 2025-2026 tax certification.
Good evening, President Wagers, Board of Trustees, Superintendent Roberts. Tonight you have before you the resolution for your approval to levy taxes in the amount of $156,429,710. This total levy amount includes $145 million for maintenance and operations, $10,708,000 for the district's 4 voter-approved supplemental levies, $295,030 for the tort levy as authorized by Idaho Code, and $426,680 for the Idaho Power Avista Utilities judgment levy. This total 2025 levy amount is an increase of $30,419,460 over the 2024 levy amount. Using an estimated 5% using an estimated 5% market value growth on the September 2024 market values, the 2025 levy amount is estimated to increase taxpayer dollars by $51 per 100,000 of assessed value. At this time, I'll stand for any questions that you might have.
Any questions? Trustee Langley.
So just as a reminder, this is a slight increase in our levy amount that compared to the last several years because we've decreased the levy every year. Is that correct?
We have not, the district has not taken the full amount that we are authorized under Idaho Code for the maintenance and operations levy. The additional is necessary this school year to maintain the programs that we have in place, such as all-day kindergarten, providing breakfast free to all students, and many of the other great programs, the early learning centers. Without those programs, without the funding, we would from the M&O levy, we would not be able to provide those programs. in part due to the decreased state funding.
But we're, just to making sure, we're still far from taking the maximum levy amount. Is that correct?
We're leaving over 33 million uncertified that we would have the ability to certify under Idaho code.
Thank you.
Any other questions for CFO Kessel?
It's also important to note that we are not certifying anything for bond payments, and that's due to the school facilities funding as part of the property tax reduction. So the levy is less in that amount. Previously, we had certified taxes for the bond payments as well, and we are not certifying that.
Any other questions, comments? I would entertain a motion.
President Wagers,
Trustee Langley.
I move to approve the 2025-26 tax certification as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Trustee Hassler. Any discussion from trustees? I mean, my key thing is a little bit about what Trustee Langley was talking about. Most governmental entities have the opportunity and do take their full amount that they do. And I think this shows that we actually do try and are very conscious of how we spend our tax dollars. And we don't take those tax dollars we don't need. And I think that's, it's a conscious effort on our board and well, actually more on the administration. Our board approves it, but the administration's point is we spend those dollars wisely. But we also sometimes need a few more dollars, especially as we're seeing less money come from, I would say state and federal entities. So that causes us to have to do to move up a little bit. Any other comments? Seeing none, we'll move to a vote. All in favor of approving the 2025-2026 tax certification as presented, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. And next, good stuff, student IT squad presentation.
President Wagers, members of the board, going to try to run my notes and the presentation and talk to you all at the same time. So you can
I
click
am
over
sure
to that.
you can do that.
Click over to 3. All right. There we go. Now we're ready. All right, so jumping into the our presentation, I'm going to start off introductions. Will Goodman, Chief Technology Officer for the Boise District. Mr. Kay Kirkendall, teacher over at DTech that's an expert in cybersecurity. And because I can't speak to you without speaking about fiber, Nyaki Dougherty, a national award winner in fiber splicing and student at DTech. So a little bit of the quick history of how this got started. Back in 2023, we had a BEA joint negotiation committee that met to talk about the tech leads position. Tech leads are usually full-time teachers or librarians that are out in our schools that also do some help and support for teachers when they have technology issues or some web design and things like that. So we had a BEA joint committee that met and discussed the position. And out of that came the idea of forming student technicians to help our tech leads out in the high schools and the junior highs. So the next year, this is in 2023, we formed a committee that met. It had principals, it had teachers, it had librarians, it had students, it had kind of the whole gamut of everybody we could bring together. And we went through and talked about how we would implement and initiate having student technicians in the building, and then what a long-term plan would be to have them in the junior highs and hopefully the elementaries over the long term. In 2024, we went ahead and presented that to administration. It was approved to roll out. And we started the program over at DTech the next year. So this is year 2 of the program. We have the students during the school year. They start off with Kay. He'll kind of explain the whole process and then work for us over the summer and during some of the breaks during the school year. So I'm just doing the quick history, and then we're going to turn over to the people that actually built and run the program. Okay.
Okay, so some of the goals that we had was we want our students to not only learn the technical skills, but the social aspects of the IT world. And so that was one of the goals we started with, is so that we could teach them not just how to fix a Chromebook or build a PC, but also to learn some of the leadership skills. So this program is, and it's called Kirkendall's Minions. I didn't pick the name, somebody else did. That's how come you see all the minions. Somebody says, hey, can you send a minion over, is usually what happens. But we want to teach them the troubleshooting, the skills, but the leadership skills. For instance, the reason Mr. Iñaki or Minion 1 is with us tonight is because Iñaki actually does all of the student scheduling. So if the student's going to work, Iñaki is the one that he's the one that puts out the weekly schedule. We also have a training manager that's responsible for making sure that all the students are trained to make sure they knew their job. We also have each high school has its own tech lead to make sure that the school has their own equipment, et cetera, so forth. Now, some of the benefits of the IT squad is that I think it helps save the school money. It helps students financially. I have to tell you a story. One of the first young women we employed, when she got her first paycheck, she said, I can finally afford food for myself because we do pay them. The student achievement, all these students participated in certification. They've had 21 certifications. We actually had 2 students that passed their CCMP certification, which is most 4-year institutions don't offer that certification. But Cyber Security Plus, the CompTIA Security Plus, 100% of our students pass the CompTIA Security Plus. 100% of our students pass the CCNA. Both of those exams have a national pass rate of 20%. We also do pretty good at our national competitions. This year, we took 5 high school students to the National Skills USA, and we brought back 3 medals, 2 golds and a bronze. And the other students, we had a 4th in technical services and 7th in internetworking at nationals. We also placed 38th out of 2,600 teams in Cyber Patriots. It's a worldwide competition. Every one of these students is a IT squad member. What it does for them when they go out, a local organization always told me that they couldn't hire high school students. The reason they couldn't hire high school students because they were public facing. And now this last summer, they actually did hire the first student because of his experience with IT squad. I'm going to let Iñaki talk to you for a minute, but I have to tell you, we had this fiber optic. Iñaki made these fiber optic bracelets for you, but he was sitting there and he's so nervous about talking that he was going like this. So they're all tangled up. I've thrown him under the bus. So we're going to get him untangled and make sure you all get one. But anyway, I'm going to let Iñaki talk about his experience.
Hello. Sorry, I'm not familiar with all I'm not familiar with all the. I can't speak, but I'm Iñaki Doherty. I'm a senior at Boise High and a 3rd year at DTech. I'm also either you can call me either Minion 1 or the IT Squad team lead. So I originally came into the IT Squad program last year, and I originally thought, wow, I can make money at school. That's so crazy. And so I did it solely to just have a little extra pocket money and all that. But I wasn't really thinking a whole lot more than that. But I joined the program, and now I have gained a whole lot more than just a little extra pocket money. I've gained a bunch of skills. Like if you look at that photo up there, you see me at the national stage where I compete in the telecommunications cabling Skills USA. It's a national competition where you compete in all these technical skills that I wouldn't have learned if I didn't join the IT squad. And I had all those fabric cables I wanted to pass out to prove that I can work with all this very expensive industrial equipment that is used in the field and in the everyday world. Yeah. I didn't know about this. What? Yeah, thank you. I'm sorry about that.
They also picked who's going to be the next Minion One.
Well.
The students actually picked who's going to be the next Minion One, and Yaki was picked by his fellow students that he works for as Minion. Good job.
So also we want to say thank you. Thank you for letting us start the program, for helping us build the program. And again, we have long-term plans, hopefully within the next school year, to be able to implement this at the junior high level, and then working out plans for how to get it down to the elementary so that we'll have students supporting students and learning from them and helping repair their devices. Some of the stuff that they do, or they are set up in every single high school. So they have their own station set up. They've got an entire kind of work room where they can repair Chromebooks when they come in. If a teacher's got an issue, they can go to their room and help support them, change a projector light bulb, change out the filters that might be issues, really fix a lot of cabling issues at the beginning of the school year, making sure everything is set up right for that teacher. And so thank you for, it helps the IT department tremendously, helps the students tremendously, and is a great program for DTech. So with that, we'll stand for any questions.
Any questions? Trustee Donovan?
Oh my gosh, this is so cool, Minion One. I cannot believe it. I would have loved having a few minions when I was a principal. This is great. I just appreciate all of your work and just thank you so much. And I can't wait to see what you do in your future. It's going to be great. Thank you.
Trustee Langley?
I just wanted to say, Minion One, that this is a exceptional program, and I am just blown away because we would, as a district, have to pay somebody to go in and make these changes and support the classrooms that you're doing that work with, and you're learning while doing it and creating that future for all of the impact that you're going to make when you leave us, sadly, and go into the world of a job that you'll be prepared for. And it's pretty astounding, the quality that we're seeing coming out of this program. That is amazing to see that our dollars are going towards educating and saving our classrooms from the panic of tech, as a person who panics with tech. So thank you so much for putting this together. We're so thrilled to be a part of it.
Trustee Gregory?
Thank you, President Wagers. So I'm wondering, Inaki, how many techs do you have in your squad? Mhm.
Yeah, we have 36, and but only about 10 to 13 of those techs are actually currently working with onboarding requests.
Mhm.
So all those onboarded techs are being trained in-house at DTech by some of the second and third years who've been in the program, and then those people who are coming in will then, after they are taught, go to the schools, work with the teachers and other staff in that
Mhm.
area, and then next year they'll be the ones helping train and prepare the next group of students coming with it.
So I assume you're a senior.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. Thank you for your work for the district.
All the training is done by the other second and third year students.
Mhm.
I mean, I sit there and listen, but they're the ones that actually train. It's just the way it works.
Mhm.
Trustee Hassler?
It's a phenomenal teaching model. That's what that comes down to. So my next question is, how does this work with your classes? So you're in the schools working. How does this fit into your schedule? How do you make this work?
So this works in as any other DTech block would. So for normal students, DTech blocks work just 2 periods out of the day. But for me, it's slightly different. So when I am scheduled, So, but instead of going to tech, or depending where I'm working, I'll go either stay at my home school and I'll work in either I'll work with the librarians and what they want and get all that stuff done, and or I'll go to a separate school where I'll then help out with all the IT needs. But it fits in like a normal day, like for a normal tech student. But instead of every day being at tech, I'm kind of out and about wherever I need.
I love that. I love the flexibility of you being able to get those DTech credits while you're, on your feet doing the work. That's fantastic. So I love what's happening with this, and I see so many other areas in our schools that this can happen with. And so it's really exciting to see how this is leading in to where our students are going to be able to go and what our teachers are teaching. And the model you're teaching with is wonderful. So thank you so much for coming and talking to us tonight and for sharing your experience. It's really exciting.
Superintendent Roberts.
Yaki, you did a great job. People who have attended many of these meetings still have a hard time with all of the protocol. So nice work. And Mr. Kirkendall, thank you so much for leading the efforts on this, as well as you, Mr. Goodman. If you want to know how successful the program is in a secondary school, go in and talk to the librarian media specialist and say, what do you think of the IT squad? It has taken such an enormous load off their shoulders. I can't even tell you, I ask that all the time when I go in, because generally when we're in a secondary library, you've got IT squad kids in there working on devices. It's pretty phenomenal. So just kudos and thanks for the service to the district.
Any other comments? Thank you, Will. Appreciate that. Mr. Kirkendall, Iñaki, thank you so much, both of you. I mean, Iñaki, for your service to the district, and Mr. Kirkendall, you made it happen. I mean, through lots of years of service. And we didn't have an IT program. I mean, did you help develop our DTech? Yeah. So thank you both very much. And thank you, Chelsea and Jeff, for making space for them to do what they need to do. So appreciate you being here tonight. And if you want to go, you can go at this time. Okay. But Mr. Roberts, you can't go. I think we're up for a cosmetology textbook adoption process.
President Wagers, trustees, Superintendent Roberts. Tonight we're going to set a land speed record for a cosmetology textbook adoption. Since you're familiar with the process, go ahead, Will. What we did was we invited every parent of the Boise School District, primarily focusing on junior high and high school parents, to apply for the committee. We had so many respondents, which I have not had that happen in the past, that we actually built a rubric to score our parent responses. And we had public comment. So I know this text is a little bit small, but the gist of this kind of aligns with the three things I always hear at DTech, which is, I didn't know you were there, which is number one. We're working on that. The other one is, I wish they would have had this when I was a student. And the third, how do I get my child into this program? And that's kind of the theme of what our public comment was, is basically, we're so glad you have cosmetology. When we built this program, Chelsea Wilson and I were talking about starting in the 26-27 school year, and then we met with, at that time, Director Johnson, and she said, let's do it. And that was based on an overwhelming response of students in the district who would like to take cosmetology. At that time, it was roughly 550 students. And we are entirely full with our 60 students of that. So public comment was consistent with what we'd hope to see and what we hear at DTech often. We rated curriculum and features, and instead of belaboring all of us, they're all roughly the same between the two content that we considered. One is Pivot Point, and the other one is Milady. Pivot Point, just to generalize, is a series of about 10 small textbooks that are great in terms of walking through sequentially through the content aligned with cosmetology. I'll talk more about our board. So really, we looked at navigability, approachability, language in the textbooks, and I'm going to skip forward to the next slide if we can. which really what we were looking for within the committee was, which was made up of all cosmetologists and one esthetician, which I've never had that luxury before, which was great to see their perspective as well. But really what we looked at is trying to get to look at each content through the eyes of a student. And so all the scores are very similar throughout both of those. The next area we looked at was types of assessments, which was a little bit tricky to dig into because Pivot Point, again, multiple books for content, Milady more of a classic textbook in that way. And it was very interesting to see what three of the board panel members, they had their students look at the textbooks as well. And go ahead, Will. And some of the comments that came out from that was that the cosmetologist and esthetician tended to like Pivot Point. However, their school-age children really liked Milady. And so if you'd like to take a moment and look through the content, basically the summary of this is that Pivot Point has a great post-secondary look, very content mastery aligned, where Milady had more instruction embedded in the text. And then basically the same theme, we just tried to capture all of the comments of the committee, and hopefully you had a chance to read through this. So in summary, the final decision, which was the committee decided on Milady, which the CTE for the state puts out approved or recommended curriculum. They don't make a final decision, but the state did vet and chose Milady for statewide. And then Pivot Point is a great resource as well. So the committee chose that we will use Pivot Point as a great supplement and Milady for our primary text. So with that, I ask the board to accept the committee's decision of Milady for the primary content for our brand new and full cosmetology program. And happy to stand for any questions.
Any questions for Mr. Roberts? As always, thank you for a great overview of the process, but also a robust process that includes, not trustees, which would know nothing about any of these things, but at least explains it to us in a way that we know the process is being followed and we're getting to the right point.
Thank you for that, President Wagers. In fact, it's almost like listening to Mr. Kirkendall. I have to pretend like I know what I'm talking about. And there's two areas, cybersecurity and cosmetology. I nod and agree.
You oversee a breadth of program.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Not, I'd entertain a motion.
I was going to make a comment. Can I make a quick comment? No, we'll do the
Is
motion.
a comment to them or a comment on the?
Comment.
Yes, comment.
What I wanted to say was that I thought it was so impressive as the school year started, there weren't students. Is that correct? The cosmetology program was brand new. So it just, students were just signing up this year, right? Wasn't it kind of?
Mm-hmm. President Wagers, Trustee Hassler, yes. We actually advertised the cosmetology program 2 days before school let out.
Yeah.
As you can imagine, students were not focused on that. But it did fill as students started to return and staff came back on over the summer. We all kind of held our breath for a little while, but it's absolutely full in that. And I quit counting how many were on the waiting list because that always makes me a little bit sad.
Which is so exciting. I guess that just to add to that process, that it wasn't like people had been signed up for months and months, that it was very last minute, that it was full. And I just think that speaks to how valuable it's going to be to our students.
I agree. Thank you.
Any other questions? No. So we will move to a motion. Trustee Hassler?
President Wagers, I move to adopt the My Lady standard cosmetology curriculum.
Is there a second?
Second.
I'll give it to Trustee Langley. Is there any discussion on the motion? I mean, I think it's great we have a cosmetology.
Yeah.
I mean, I think about how many kids, especially, graduating, and Frank Church does a really nice job of saying where kids are going. We don't hear that at the other graduations, but how many students are going into cosmetology, and now we can give them a step forward on that process. Love it. Any other comments? Not, you want to? Trustee Langley.
I just want to reiterate that every time I see a DTech program come up, I am astounded at the quality of education that we are putting forward, not just to help children enter college prepared, but enter the world prepared as citizens that are contributing so much. And I have friends in all walks of life that do these jobs from college educated PhDs sitting in this room, to people that are, running their own businesses in cosmetology and electrician and whatever, and very, very successfully creating our economy. So I'm just so thrilled to see us participating in preparing students to be a part of that. Thank you for your work, guys.
Great. Thank you. Now we'll move to a vote. All in favor of adopting Milady Standard Cosmetology curriculum, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you very much. And next we'll move into other business. And part of the other business that we need to do, according to our charter, is we need to actually do a declaration of vacancy for trustees. So that is on the motions. If someone would like to make that, Trustee Donovan.
I move that the board declare the trustee position seat formerly held by Maria Greeley to be vacant.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Trustee Gregory. Any discussion? All in favor to declare the trustee seat formerly held by Maria Greeley to be vacant, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next, we're going to move on to the trustee timeline, trustee selections timeline review. We talked about this a little bit at the board workshop. So we are going to do I wouldn't say an expedited process, but we're going to do our normal process for going to trying to find a new trustee, person to fill that trustee slot. As a note, whoever is selected at the time, they will be up for re-election next September, because anytime we appoint at the next election process, they will go up for election. So that seat will become open. So what we're hoping to do is the actual open process for it will be September 9th through the 25th. We're going to close that process at noon. So people have a chance to turn in applications. I think the applications will be available online at least by tomorrow morning. You can find that on our website under the Board of Trustees tab. And so you'll be able to find that process. There is an application that we'd have you fill out. We will collect those applications. They can either be emailed into Clerk Snyder or delivered in person during regular business hours here. That process will close on September 26th. They're due by noon, so not by end of business, but by noon, and that's so Clerk Snyder can process them and get them to the trustees for review over the weekend. And we will have a chance to review those application processes. On the October 2nd, we will have a special board meeting. That will be, some of it will be in person, some of it will be virtual, depending on trustee process, what we can make. But that'll be at 3:30 on October 2nd to consider the applicants. And during that process, we will most likely, depending on how many folks applicants we receive, we'll probably winnow that down to, I would say, it's a manageable number to interview. And what that number is, I do not know. It'll be up to the trustees to decide what that manageable number is. And then we hope to have another special board meeting on October 8th. And that is when we will hope to have in-person interviews for all the finalist candidates at that point. We will also select a trustee that afternoon. So we will go through the interviews. We will meet as a board to deliberate, and then we will select a trustee. That trustee will then be seated and take the oath of office on October 13th. At least that's the goal of the process. You never know how a process goes. And then with also part of this is hope they can participate in that board meeting October 13th, but also we have an NSBA conference in November that we would love for that new trustee to attend, as well as most of our trustees, because it's a great time for us to kind of put a little glue between us and understand what a trustee really does, but also have a chance to do training together as well. Any questions on the process from trustees or administration? Great. Well, thanks. Thanks for working through that. Obviously, a very important process for us. Trustees, we need good trustees, and we're happy that people are interested in being a trustee. But it's a lot of work, a lot of dedication, and it helps our administration. We help our administration. We support them, and we need that support for the folks that do the work. So Superintendent Roberts.
President Wagers, and we do have a press release prepared that'll go out tomorrow morning with all of that information that you just spoke about. It'll also be on our website, like you said, but we'll have a press release. It'll go out with links and everything for him.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you very much for preparing that. I'm sure Mr. Holler is here, who has made a little bit of that happen. And I know Clerk Snyder has also made some of that happen. So thank you for your work on this process. Any other comments or questions on the trustee selection process? Okay, we have one more process, one more other business to do, and that's the election of a vice president of the board. So we don't like to leave that open if we can help it. So Trustee Gregory.
President Wagers, I move that we appoint Trustee Debbie Donovan to serve until September 2026 as board vice chair. If I could speak to the motion.
Please speak to the motion.
Okay, thank you. I like the word glue. I like that. That was cool because that really is, it kind of describes how we are all connected and that we depend on each other, and yet none of us stands alone. We can't stand alone. We're not supposed to stand alone, not supposed to voice alone or stand alone. And so becoming the chair or the vice chair is not a seat of glory. It is a seat of work, a seat of representation, and a seat that has responsibilities that require a lot of time and commitment. And I personally am grateful for anybody who serves in that seat because it does take a focus, more of a laser focus than the rest of us have to devote. And all of us on this board are busy people. And so we look at time commitment and qualifications and ability to channel Maria Greeley in a way to kind of represent us in those early discussions that set agendas, determine committees, work with the staff to do the logistics of making our board work. And so it's with confidence that I nominate Trustee Donovan. I feel like she does have the time, she has the background and the knowledge that she can support you in what the work that you need to do to help us all be effective. And so that's my comments.
Thank you, Trustee Gregory. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Second from Trustee Langley. Any other discussion? Trustee Langley?
I'd just like to say that Debbie has been a representative of this district for so long and in so many ways that you've taken this position as seriously as anybody I've ever seen walk in onto the board. And in my short 5 years, I've seen a lot of people come. So I would just say that I'm very excited to see the unique way that you bring your perspective to this position because I think it will be absolutely phenomenal. And I'm so excited that you're willing to lead us in this way.
Any other discussion?
I'll just add to that Debbie's a rock star. I know that's not really protocol, but I'm just going to say it. Debbie's going to be a great leader for us. And I'm really grateful for the way that you listen and the way that you hear and that you collect. You're very good at that. And I think that that's going to be a leadership quality that we really will appreciate and use on this board. So thank you for being willing to take the time and put yourself in a vulnerable position as a leader in that way and for doing that for all of us. Thank you.
Well, as far as I've known, Trustee Donovan's always been a leader from a very, I guess, young age in the district. And I'm excited to have the chance to work with her and to learn from her, to be challenged by her, and to challenge her. So, and I know she has that in her because I've seen her work throughout the district in several roles that were very challenging roles. And we've always asked a lot of her, and she's always responded. So thank you for taking the leap. Do you want to have any comments on the motion? You might have to talk after. So it's been moved and seconded to appoint Trustee Donovan to serve until September 2026 as Board Vice President. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Welcome.
And I know that Maria has set a high standard and there are big shoes to fill. And I welcome this opportunity to challenge you, Dave. And just be challenged. And work collaboratively with superintendency and the board and keep us all engaged. And I will do my darndest. Thank you for your confidence.
Thank you for serving. And I heard a rumor, there is no executive session. Woohoo! Good way to start the year. So with that, we can move on to Board Trustee Superintendent comments. Superintendent Roberts.
President Wagers, first off, I want to congratulate Debbie. We're really looking forward to Vice Chair Donovan working with you in board leadership. Debbie and I became principals the same year, and that was a long time ago. So I am looking forward to working with you and know that you can fill those shoes of Maria's. We have had an amazing day, really highlighting the importance of mental health for our students, and I think for our staff when we do events like this. So that would be why we're all in our Bronco Bold t-shirts, which makes some of us really uncomfortable for a board meeting, but we all made a pact. And that, I mean, we really made a pact because Will Goodman would normally never wear a t-shirt to a board meeting, but I am very proud of him. But we had Boise State athletes, we had students, we had trustees, we had teachers all across the district today, chalking the walk and sharing positive messages around mental health. And really, it is, I'm proud of what we've done as a district the last few years, but I'll say what I said when Dan Holler asked me today. We can't let our foot off the gas, and I think that this is just a great way to start our year and to remind our students how much we care about them and our investment in their mental health. So thank you to everybody who participated. I want to thank Jennifer Henderson, Brian Walker, and Stephanie Donaldson from Boise State. She had the entire idea for the whole Bronco Bold movement at Boise State, and then reached out and said, I'd like to bring that down into high schools. And then Jennifer Henderson and Brian Walker really organized it and made it happen. We had all sorts of people all over the district delivering these giant chalk kits and sometimes forgetting to deliver the chalk kits in the back of their car. And you know, it really has been a fabulous day. We've just had a great start to our year, and looking forward to seeing, you know, where we go from here.
Great. And I think almost everybody up here got a chance to participate in that. And I think everybody have a good experience.
Yeah.
Trustee Hassler, you had something?
Yeah, so I had the opportunity to go to 3 schools today, and it was really neat to be able to go to a junior high, high school, and elementary and see it play out with students at different ages and see what they were able to do with it. In the elementary school, Nancy actually was there with me. And what was so neat, the kids were writing messages everywhere. There was music playing. It was like a party out there during their recess that they were choosing to be out there writing these messages to each other. And one group of 6th graders got together and made a big giant box that filled up as big as they could without crossing the line. They were told they couldn't cross. And they wrote at the top of it, "Everyone is welcome here." And then they went around and asked all the kids to come trace their hands and write their names beneath it. And it was that action of gathering that we've heard people say it's just a sign, it's nothing more. And what it is it's a message that's getting into our students' hearts, and they're living it out and they're acting it out. And that is exactly the kind of acting out we want to see in our schools. And that's the exact kind of positive mental health outcomes that we want to see from this experience. So just wanted to share, just seeing the kids do that today was really powerful and impactful. And I think that this is such an incredible thing that is being done. So thank you to Brian and Jennifer and everyone that was involved in making it happen in our district today. It was amazing to be a part of it.
Thank you for the story. We like stories. Any other comments? So I think ISBA has a training. So it's 24th on West Ada. So you might look, I think Debbie resent that email out to everybody. I will be out of town, so I will not be able to attend. But it's always good to get together with other trustees and kind of hear their thoughts and how the trials and tribulations of what we do.
And it includes a meal.
And it includes a meal.
You can go at
Nope.
5:30 right from work.
Yeah. If you have to drive out to West Ada at 5:30, which is which is its own special traffic treat. Um, any other questions or comments? Board Fields? I mean, I look forward to seeing new applicants. When we lose, we're sad to lose Trustee Greeley, but also excited to see the potential of what's next for this board.
Yeah.
So we've always found that right person for what's next. So that's our charge, is to help find out what's next.
Yeah.
So, Trustee Gregory,
Move to adjourn, President Wagers.
their motion, is there a second?
Second.
Second from Trustee Hassler. Been moved and seconded to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned.